delightfully sweet. Roasted nuts make it perfectly salty. Get two great tastes in one delicious bar. Enjoy a Nature Valley sweet and salty nut bar today.
Bet on more than the final score in one-game parlay at BetMGM. One-game parlay allows you to make selections within a single game from over 400 bet types, including team and player props. Log into your BetMGM account and create your best parlay before the game starts. New to BetMGM? Sign up and make your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. Plus, your BetMGM reward points that can be redeemed for online bonuses or converted into comps for rooms, restaurants, and more at over 20 MGM resorts nationwide. Try one-game parlay today. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years of age or older to wager. Customer only. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable free bets or site credit. Free bets expire in 7 days from issuance. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help and sports Michigan Associated Groups.
This hour of instant feedback brought to you by Michael Furrow, National Benefit Plans. Call 877-734-2200.
Unacceptable both my actions and words were and how they affected so many. I am truly sorry. I'm offering my sincerest apology to players and their families, my staff, my family, and the Michigan fans around the world. I would like to personally apologize to Wisconsin assistant coach Joel Cravenhoff, his actual name is Joe, and his family too. Lastly, I speak a lot about being a Michigan man and representing the University of Michigan with class and pride. I did not do that, nor did I set the right example in the right way for my student athletes. I will learn from my mistakes, and this mistake will never happen again. No excuses, end quote. So no apology to Greg Gard, who he took great issue with in the postgame, and the assistant that he apologized to, they didn't get the name right. And I say they because I don't even know if Juwan wrote this.
Well, I agree with that, Jim, and everybody can. I want to put this out there. They did send an update with it saying that it was a typo on the name. Now, if you want to believe that or not, that's fine. I just want to be fair to Michigan.
Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. But not saying anything about Greg Gard, you're adamant is out of line with his Bush League timeouts. Greg Gard, the one that you grabbed by the shirt and collar and then swung on one of his assistants, he's the face of Wisconsin's program, Greg Gard. No apology for Greg Gard? Did it seem out of place to anybody?
It certainly seemed like there was, or maybe he felt like he covered it by talking about Wisconsin, but he did name individuals, and I would think that you would apologize to the head coach of the team that, he's the head coach of the assistant coach. He's the head coach of that team. He's the leader of that program. You would think that there'd be an apology to Greg Gard as well.
What do you make of the apology? 248-539-9797. Some of the text coming in on the suspensions. Diabate getting one game is ridiculous, reads the ticket text. He threw numerous roundhouses at random people. He should have gotten the rest of the season. Another one says, Howard and Diabate are repeat offenders. How are they not done for the rest of the year? The light sentences, this is what I expect with Michigan. It's Tim in Clarkston.
Well, this is Michigan and the Big Ten.
Texter says something I haven't heard brought up. Not even sure it's a thing. Could Juwan face any assault charges in Madison? See, I don't think it's
There was a statement made by the police that there will be no criminal investigation.
Okay. This one says, Jerry and Ypsilanti, how do you compare this to Woody Hayes punching a Clemson football player?
Well,
It's a little different.
It's different because you're not hitting a student athlete. You're hitting another grown man. And I agree that, does age make a difference in regards to who you're hitting? You're still hitting someone.
Well, I think specifically with Woody, it's a power dynamic.
Right.
You're the boss of that player. That's a little different. At least that's how I interpret it. Texter says we can't defend Juwan at all. Nothing happens if he doesn't press. Nothing happens if he doesn't say, I'll remember that plea.
I agree. And I know we'll get into the whole handshake line later on.
Izzo had some comments on that.
Yeah, it's sort of Fran McCaffrey. So it's a matter of, at that point, and here's where I do blame Greg Gard. You could tell, and especially because Juwan Howard said, I'll remember that. Whatever, and the verbiage doesn't matter, but you have to be able to read the body language of another individual. Juwan Howard clearly wanted to go to the locker room. Clearly, and you could say, hey, sore loser, needs to have more class. All of those things you can argue, but you've got to be able to read the body language of another individual. That's why I believe instead of, hey, it's not like you grab somebody's elbow, you shake their hand, it's cordial. He grabbed his arm to stop him. He positioned his body when it was from the side to go right in front of him. That's why I believe Greg Gard was not held accountable for what his part of this situation.
You think he should have got a game?
I think he should have got a game.
What about this? What about the assistant coach? What's his name? Cravenhoft. Take a Texture says the suspensions and fines did justice, but why didn't the Wisconsin assistant get anything for putting his hands on opposing players? If anybody should have been fined, it should have been him over Gard.
I have watched this many times. And when I think of, you're in a scrum, right? You've got your hands up. He may have had his hand on his chest. You can see from the angles that I was able to find. When I look at it, and again, how does somebody's body move? If he forcibly pushed a Michigan player, you would have seen that player's shoulders go back. You would have seen his head move. There was no body movement. So if his hand is simply on his chest, I have no issue with that. And if that's what Juwan Howard saw and that's what triggered it, like that's a short trigger, right? You can't.
Good point.
I've watched it time and time again, and I just don't see that assistant coach forcefully push any Michigan players.
Let's go to the phones. We have Russell in Linden. Russell, you're on 97.1.
Yeah, hey guys, how are you doing?
Good.
Good. Yeah, my main comment I wanted to make is I think that the Big Ten, the NCAA, they only got it, partially right. The Juwan Howard, suspension, absolutely the right cause. There's no point where you should ever be able to strike somebody else, especially when you're supposed to be a leader of men, or young men in this case. But I really think when it comes to, the coach from Wisconsin, you're basically putting this line here where you can physically touch somebody and escalate this, and yet you get just a fine. I mean, they could have come in and said, this is never okay. And I think he should have gotten 2 or 3 game suspension and at least set a precedent right away.
I think what Gard did was 2 to 3 games worth.
Absolutely. If you look at everything that led up to the situation, yes, the timeout, and then Juwan Howard.
Wait. What was wrong with the timeout, Russell?
It's an unspoken rule being a coach. Something like that.
How about the full court press when you're down 15 with 30 seconds left?
I would argue the timeout was a response to Juwan pressing when the game was over. What would you say, Russell?
And then I could actually, I could see that too. And if you want to start with that, Juwan Howard started it, then Greg escalated it, and then Juwan, escalated it. But as soon as you physically touch somebody else in that manner, it wasn't on the shoulder or even on the elbow of an endearing sign of respect. This was trying to touch somebody saying that you will not disrespect me in that manner. And I really think that escalated it.
I agree with you.
I think the Big Ten should have really come in and set a precedent that this is not okay for anybody's actions like that.
Russell,
when you're supposed to be leader of men.
My only issue, and I appreciate the phone call, and John, maybe this is where we disagree. I think if Gard does that and then they both go to the locker room afterwards, there's no suspension level. So I have to judge what Gard did not by whether or not Juwan punched people, but by what Guard himself did. And I don't view stopping a coach from storming off in a handshake line as a multi-game or even a single-game suspension.
But if you do that, you're leaving out the fact that that is an instigator. Maybe
I don't believe it was. Not enough to lead to what happened, because now you're holding him responsible for what Juwan did.
I'm not going to disagree with that. And what Russell said, our last caller, of 2 or 3 games, I think that's way too much. I thought a game, and if you see a coach and you know that there's tensions after a game, and he clearly doesn't want to shake your hand, then why force it? Why go in there? Because you're escalating a situation. He doesn't know how Juwan's going to react.
True.
Juwan Howard's reaction is not Greg Gard's responsibility.
Correct.
What his responsibility is to say, you know what? Hey, if you're gonna
Let him go be a sore loser.
that's fine. Hey, everybody is watching that interaction. There is nothing that Greg Gard can gain by trying to stop Juwan Howard. If Juwan Howard wants to walk by him, then yesterday our conversation would have been, should there be a handshake line? And that would have been the extent of it.
And Juwan needs to realize that if I'm going to press against the end of the bench in that situation, then I need to also accept the timeout. They're hand in hand, man. From a gamesmanship standpoint in that situation, they go hand in hand. You cannot support the press and not support the timeout. That's just the way I feel about it.
We've got Juwan's apology in the mix. The suspension details are out. You can react to both of them. We'll also get to Big Ten coaches sounding off on the future of the handshake line. Both Izzo and McCaffrey. That's coming up at 7:02. It's 97.1.
Hey, take a look outside. We're starting to see the grass. The snow is melting. We're going to get a bunch of rain today.
Tropical out today.
Hopefully it stays away. Last year, did you have a problem with crabgrass? If you did, or if you're worried about it this year, give Natural Way Lawn and Tree Service a call, because it's easier to take care of the problem before it starts than after you see the crabgrass. The first application is the most important. Despite the snow and cold, you've got to think about it now. Schedule early and call now. It's 888-GET-GREEN for Natural Way Lawn and Tree Service. For a limited time only, purchase a full lawn program and get free grub control, free surface insect control, but you have to mention my name, John Jansen. And if you do that, get green, stay green, save green when you prepay. Call by the end of the month for the early bird discount. Each lawn is different. They're going to assign your lawn its own specialist. Your program is going to be custom tailored and solutions specifically for your yard and your home. They also offer pest control services, and your satisfaction is 100% guaranteed because it's a locally owned company for over 3 decades. Give them a call. Natural Way Lawn and Tree Service, 888-GET-GREEN. Get green, stay green with Natural Way.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center. Looking at a pretty wet drive so far this morning. No accidents though, but potholes can still be an issue. Eureka Road between 275 and Inkster Road, 275 around 6 Mile. Also M14 both directions from 275 to Northville Road. There are also reports of potholes 94 at Greenfield and 75 southbound just after Erie Road in Monroe County. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
A station where your opinion matters.
This Omar Science with an Odyssey Sports Minute, sponsored by AutoZone. Get the Zone AutoZone. Thoroughbred racing fans waiting for the other horseshoe to drop learned yesterday that beleaguered trainer Bob Baffert's horse, Medina Spirit, was stripped of his Kentucky Derby victory, and Mandaloon was declared the winner. Now, Medina Spirit, since deceased, tested positive after the Derby for the banned substance betamethasone. Now, what happens to Bob Baffert? That's the question. I'm Boomer Esiason.
Find great hires without the hassle with Indeed. Our hiring platform makes it easy to attract, screen, and interview candidates. Just sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Welcome to AutoZone, America's #1 brakes destination. Right now, you can do the complete job and get a great deal when you buy a set of Duralast brake pads and rotors. It's also AutoZone's national hiring event. We're hiring all positions, from sales to warehouse
job can be a job itself. Luckily, Indeed makes it easy to attract, screen, and interview candidates. Just sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed fit your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit. Add a little excitement to your sports watching experience and make every moment mean more by betting on all the action on FanDuel Sportsbook. There's a reason why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. The app is simple to use. They got great odds on all different betting markets, unique fun bet types like same-game parlays and exclusive always-on promotions such as enhanced odds boosts on the biggest events that let you get more out of the action every day. Right now, FanDuel is letting you place your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. Just place any bet on any game, and FanDuel will refund you up to $1,000 if your first bet doesn't win. Seriously, there's no strings attached. Just place any bet you want. If you win, you keep the cash. If you lose, you get your entire bet up to $1,000 back in site credit. If you've never tried FanDuel Sportsbook, what are you waiting for? Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started. And be sure to sign up with the promo code Doug so they know that we sent you. Must be 21 or older and present in Michigan. First online real money wager only. Refund issued is not withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. FanDuel Sportsbook is the official partner of 97.1 The Ticket.
February's winding down, and so is our President's Day sales event. In fact, it all ends Monday night, February 28th at 6 p.m. at Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Our friends Bill Golling here telling qualified Chrysler employees about our great February lease incentives. For example, lease a 2021 Jeep Renegade 80th Anniversary Edition for just $256 a month. Leases for 39 months, 10,000 miles a year with $2,000 down. For the finest of sales, service, and selection, come see us. That's Golling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Bloomfield Hills, Chelsea, Roseville, and online at Golling.com.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. Whether you're purchasing or refinancing, you need to call the mortgage company with nearly 5,000 five-star reviews. Let Hall Financial cover the cost of your appraisal. 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
Odyssey's Black History Month tribute to the incredible black artists who have contributed their music to the world. Hear music from Prince, Janet Jackson, Stevie Wonder, and many more. Search for Black Voices and Inspiration on the Odyssey app to listen. Get the latest sports news and inside information about Michigan and Michigan State on the 5-Star Zone with Rico Beard. Download it today on the Odyssey app. Live from the Jamie Samuelson studio, here's Stoney and Chanson.
5 games for Juwan Howard. That's the rest of the regular season. 1 game for all players who threw punches. Basically, the standard was if you threw hands, you received some kind of punishment. Greg Gard got a fine of $10,000 from the Big Ten. Juwan Howard's apology. He issued one